My name is John Kennedy. I'm a radio presenter from Radio X in the UK, and I'm inviting you on a journey around the world. Global Sounds will present cities from an indie perspective, shining a light on its businesses and artists. And we want you seated for a trip into the underground, to a world of independent music. Melbourne, sometimes called the live music capital of the world because of the city's high number of live music venues. Bands like AC/DC, The Divinals and Rose Tattooed to King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, Amyl and the Sniffers all have deep roots in Melbourne. You have to discover the city by exploring its laneways, its music, film, art, food, coffee, gardens and more. You don't come to Melbourne because you know the city. You come to Melbourne so you can begin to uncover its hidden charms.
Okay, James, tell us a little bit about the Cherry Rock Festival. Okay, thank you for asking. My name's James Young. I'm lucky enough to be one of the owners and bookers at the Cherry Bar in Melbourne. We also have the Cherry Rock Music Festival. It's a street rock and roll festival, Australia's only rock and roll festival that's held in the streets of Melbourne. And it's kind of the street, for the street, featuring street rock and roll bands. We started back in 2007. We're in our 14th year. And the way it works is we have bands in the laneway and in the Cherry Bar, and we try to reflect the best of the local live Melbourne bands, but also international bands, interstate bands, where possible, of the rock and roll genre. The Cherry Rock Festival in AC/DC Lane in Melbourne, and I was one of the people that was involved in changing the name of the former Corporation Lane to AC/DC Lane for our tough pub rock sound, which is a sound developed by Australian acts, famously AC/DC, The Angels, Rose Tattoo, these days Amyl and the Sniffers. It's a tough rock and roll sound that comes from the pubs. 101 Collins Street, just behind AC/DC Lane, most salubrious business address in Australia. People really love the surprise factor that we're having a dirty rock and roll festival in the middle of the day and night. It's like a denim group hug in the middle of Melbourne, surrounded by all the normally corporate business types of people. It's a really nice feature of the Cherry Rock Festival in AC/DC Lane, Melbourne, Australia.
I think we're a bit of a mismatch of a lot of things, actually. I'd say post-punk, I'd say new wave, I'd say Aussie pub rock.
Yes.
And we also have some pop sensibilities with our music as well, I feel. What do you think of this year Melbourne band?
I mean, I've grown up in Melbourne, so I guess I don't really know any different.
I think we have a great kind of underground community. I think I think there's a particular Melbourne sound. I think there's a particular Melbourne feel. I think this city has a particular feel in comparison to others. I always wanted to come to Melbourne. There was no other option for me, basically. I grew up playing music, and I feel if you're in any kind of creative, if you're a creative, it might be fashion or art or music, I think Melbourne's really the only place to go.
I mean, the Melbourne music scene is just, there's so many gigs happening every week, small pubs, like big, large venues as well. Oh, we're keeping so positive. We've been brewing up lots of tasty tunes over lockdown, and we're writing lots of songs that will be released in 2022.
Living in a dream, and life is pretty easy when the grass is evergreen. And I just wanna see you happy. So tell me what you're gonna do when everybody's talking and they're talking about you. I'm trying to land on the missing people. I wanna dance with the missing people. Take this boy, send him far from home. I understand all the missing people. I wanna hold hands with the missing people. Leave this place, get where I am grown. Try to land on the missing people. Dance with the missing people. Understand all the missing people. Hold hands with the missing people. I wanna sway like the missing people. I wanna stray like the missing people. Get lost with the missing people. I'm trying to land on the missing people. Take this boy, send him on the road. Understand all the missing people. I wanna hold hands with the missing people. Leave this place, get where I am grown. I wanna sway like the missing people. I wanna stray like the missing people. Get lost with the missing people. I wanna just get by like the missing people. Get high like the missing people. Get lost with the missing people like you.